Welcome to the airing of candidate videos produced by League of Women Voters Bloomington with a special thank you to the City of Bloomington for the video production. League of Women Voters is a century-old nonpartisan political organization that never endorses candidates or political parties. In these videos, you will hear candidates for the Bloomington School Board Independent School District number 271. 3 board seats are up for election this year. The names of all school board candidates will appear on the general election ballots in precincts within Bloomington. You may vote for up to 3 candidates. When the votes are counted, the 3 candidates receiving the most votes will win the election. A school board member's term is 4 years.
Hello, my name is Nelly Corman, and I would like to thank the League of Women Voters for providing this video recording opportunity to speak as a candidate for the Bloomington School Board. I have had the honor of serving as a school board member for Bloomington schools for almost 12 years. I have been a Bloomington resident for over 19 years. My husband is a Jefferson graduate, and 2 of our children graduated from Kennedy High School, where our youngest is a student. I am a high school Spanish immersion teacher in the St. Louis Park Public School District. I have worked in the education field for 29 years. I have experience in teaching and administrative positions in K-12 education, college, community education, curriculum development, and second language learning research. My formal education includes a Master of Arts in Educational Leadership from St. Mary's University of Minnesota, a second licensure degree from Hamline University, and a BA in Foreign and Second Languages Instruction from Universidad del Valle in Colombia. I am a doctoral student in the Educational Leadership and Learning Program at the University of St. Thomas, where my concentration track will be in learning technology, leadership, and innovation. I am passionate about education and community service. Besides serving as a school board member, I have served in various city committees and initiatives, and as a planning commissioner for 5 years. During my time on the board, I have focused on student achievement, student support services, safety, technology and innovation, parent and community engagement, student participation, teacher and staff support, and economic stability for our school district. I have served on various board committees, including the board's legislative committee, for which I am the chair. I am also the board representative for the Association of Metropolitan School Districts. I have enjoyed working on behalf of our youth in Bloomington and Minnesota. I have served in all board officer roles, including chairing the board during the first 2 years of the COVID pandemic. During this time, I also led a successful superintendent search. In challenging times, I have proven to lead with confidence and effectiveness. The pandemic brought new challenges to education, and as the world continues to change, we must provide our students with the tools, skills, and knowledge they need to be the members of our society that the 21st century requires. I am proud to have participated in the approval of the new strategic plan for Bloomington schools. I am seeking re-election to continue this important work and service to the Bloomington students and families. Having access to opportunities and educational excellence can transform individuals and communities. Strong school systems are fundamental in the preservation and development of our communities, making them prosperous, thriving, and healthy. I am committed to our students to continue advocating for their education and well-being, and to keep our Bloomington schools strong. If elected to another term on the Bloomington School Board, I will continue to put our students first, be fiscally responsible, and always work hard to support our public schools and the Bloomington community. I am Nelly Corman, and I hope to earn your vote on November 7th. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Rick Oliva, and I'd like to first start by saying that while I like to stay on topic and only talk about school board issues, the number one question I get when I'm out door knocking is, are you related to the baseball player? And the answer is yes. Tony Oliva is my dad. And as you can imagine, being the son of a Minnesota Twins baseball legend, I was raised in a household with high expectations. My dad would say, go to school, get a good education, work hard, and be somebody. Well, I did get a good education. I went to Bloomington Public Schools from kindergarten all the way through high school. I graduated from Kennedy High School. After that, I went on to earn a Bachelor of Music degree from Berklee College of Music and a Master of Music and Music Education from Boston University. And with my guitar strapped around my neck, I performed thousands of shows across the country, taught private music lessons in Bloomington since 1997, and even spent 5 years teaching at McNally Smith College in St. Paul. And while I have yet to reach international superstar status, I have found deep meaning and satisfaction through service to others, including volunteering in the community and my time as a school board member. My interest in Bloomington School Board began in 2010 when the board was discussing elementary school boundary changes, and I saw how board decisions directly affect the residents and the students in the community. I ran for school board then. It took me 2 times, but I got on the second time. And so I was elected in 2013. I served from 2014 through 2017, including 1 year as school board chair. And a lot has changed since I was last on school board. For me personally, I published a book, released an album, opened a music school, and currently work as a consultant for emergent software. But I never lost my passion for education. And although I closed my music school recently and my primary career has shifted industries, I still do give private guitar lessons regularly. Now, there's a quote that's often attributed to Einstein. However, I don't think there's any evidence that he actually said it. But it does speak to my general philosophy of education, and it goes like this. If you judge a fish by its ability to climb trees, it will live its entire life believing it is stupid. And just as every person has different areas of interest, they also have different strengths and weaknesses. For students to reach their full potential, they must be supported in the areas in which they struggle, but not at the expense of the areas in which they thrive. A one-size-fits-all approach to education does not adequately allow the flexibility needed to develop a diverse student population. So we must provide the fundamental skills necessary to be successful, not only in school, but in the larger community and after graduation. Provide support and curricular differentiation on an individual basis to the greatest extent possible. Allow students choices in their education and to meaningfully participate in curricular decisions that affect them. Now, my top 3 priorities as a board member are as follows. Number 1, students first. In all decisions, we first have to ask ourselves, how will this affect our students? Number 2, we have to fight for adequate funding so we can continue to attract high-quality talent and offer top-notch programming while remaining fiscally solvent. And number 3, promote diversity of thought. Understanding that while we cannot make everyone happy, we can work to make sure all voices are heard and considered. Now, some of my qualifications for this role, I have experience leading. I was on the Bloomington School Board for 4 years, and I did own my own music school for several. I have experience teaching. I was a teacher at McNally Smith College of Music in St. Paul, as I mentioned. I also taught group and private lessons at the West Bank School of Music in Minneapolis. And then I have a lot of experience volunteering in the community. I was on the PBIS team at Ridgeview Elementary. And I was on the Bloomington School Board's District Curriculum Advisory Committee and Music Education Steering Committee before I served on the board. I've also, I believe this was year 14, volunteering as a youth baseball coach. So I have a lot of years with the Bloomington Athletic Association and the Bloomington Traveling Baseball Association, BAA and BTBA. Go Bandits. Finally, I know my experience as a teacher, business owner, IT professional, and former board member has prepared me to step into the role of board member again, and I will have a positive impact on the Bloomington public school system should I be elected to serve this November. There's three of us. There's 3 spots available on the board this year. I hope to earn one of your votes. Thank you very much.
Thank you to the League of Women Voters for allowing me to introduce myself. My name is Maya Olson. It is spelled M-I-A, and to help with the pronunciation, you are welcome to say Hiya Maya. And thank you to the voters of Bloomington for allowing me to serve these past 4 years. I grew up attending Minneapolis public schools in a family that valued public education highly. My father, in particular, was a driving force for me. He was a teacher, coach, and later, while working for the Minnesota Department of Education, he created the Adapted Physical Education Program. I share his history in advocating for all students. My Bloomington ties include a husband who is a Lincoln graduate and his 3 brothers who graduated from Kennedy, one who went on to become a teacher. We have 2 adult children, Eiley and Kai, both of whom benefited greatly from attending Bloomington Public Schools beginning in early childhood education until they each graduated from the Jefferson High School. We are grateful for their Bloomington Public School education and their various experiences in both arts and athletics. My educational background includes earning degrees in child psychology and early childhood development from the University of Minnesota, as well as a degree in elementary education from the College of St. Catherine. I was fortunate to have my first grade student teaching experience here in Bloomington as well. For 27 years since, and counting, I have served as a Bloomington Reserve teacher. I have taught in a variety of early childhood through middle school classrooms throughout the district. I have been able to experience and learn firsthand what is relevant and real in the daily lives of our teachers, staff, and most importantly, our students. It was this experience that motivated me to run for a first term with the Bloomington School Board. Much has happened in the last 4 years. It was not always the easiest time to be a school board member. In some ways, possibly the most challenging time ever. But it gave me well-earned on-the-job experience. In addition, I have taken advantage of the many educational and training opportunities available to me. And as challenging as it was, we accomplished many exciting things during my first term. The hiring of a new superintendent is the most important task for a school board, and we did very well in hiring Dr. Eric Melby. Also exciting has been the development of our district's new strategic plan. It was important to have the community involved, and we had a record number of stakeholders working on this together. I am excited to witness its implementation as well as future results. This and the helpful work of the community to pass the referendum helped prove our community to be full of enthusiastic public education supporters who trust in our schools. As do I. Throughout the decades, I have come to know fabulous educators and support staff throughout our school district. Retaining, growing, and nurturing this talent is critical to our success. Discovering, developing, and nurturing new talent is equally important. Ultimately, it is the children we need to serve, to educate, and to provide with a Bloomington caliber experience. All while keeping in the forefront of our minds that students do not all have the same needs and not all students have a voice. Just as I have invested my service to the Bloomington School Board, Bloomington has made a tremendous investment in me as a first-term school board member. I am grateful for all I have learned and how I have grown. I am grateful for the opportunity I have had to serve. I am now running for a second term to serve, in part because of this investment. I am well positioned to leverage this investment to best serve our school community in a second term. I will continue to advocate for a safe and secure school environment. I will continue to ensure that our schools are sustainably funded. I will continue to support efforts to attract and retain valuable teachers and support staff. I will continue valuing equity in education, ensuring that all students have what they need to be safe, secure, and successful, and I will continue working on effective collaboration. We all have the same goal, to do what is best for our students. Let's work together. Thank you for listening. Now it is my turn to listen to you.
Hi, Bloomington. I'm Langa Orijo. I've moved here 7 years ago, and especially in Bloomington, in which my family, my siblings have been here for 21 years. They went to school in Bloomington here, Valley View and Kennedy's High School. I am having a beautiful wife called Janet, and she is happy for me to be participating in the community that I'm in. So I work professionally as a cloud engineer, which I have a degree in computer science from back in Sudan. So I bring a perspective of being in a different part of the world. I've been in Africa, Asia, some part of Eastern Europe, and the US. Happen to know different communities there. I understand the differences on how it's hard for some of us to integrate into a new life environment, in which I had faced it coming to the U.S. So since I've moved in the U.S. here, I've been involved in communities. My local teams try to assist on integrating them to American life and societies, what does they do and they don't, and happen to work as a school board in a school back home. I've really me and the team, we have built the school from scratch. The school and then the teachers, we actually put the team together, and then our school has been scoring the best score in the region back there for the last 2 years, because of how we are really enforcing policies, and we are spending the funds where it's supposed to, and then we ensure that students get to just focus on studies, improving their life, because being someone a migrant, the only way to make it in life is just do school. Therefore, I want to bring this energy to ensure that our school in Bloomington, our students here, get to focus in school, come to school every day, and then get to ensure that the parents prepare the kids to go to school with no fear, and they should trust the government schools, so that we get to produce more entrepreneurs in future. I enjoy volunteering, and for me personally, this is the best way for me to give back to the country that helped my siblings to study. Though I did not study here, but that's the better way for me, to just help and give back to the community that I love and to the people that I'm always a part of. So vote for me. I will really make sure that that the policies are in place, and I'll make sure that each parents get their voice heard, because I love to connect with people. Therefore, I would love to reach the parents and then the schools, so that we can bridge this gap between the school and then the parents, because some migrants societies don't know really how to express themselves, and then I think I'll be that voice, happen to be exposed to different migrant societies in the U.S. here and outside of the U.S. Therefore, I'm so happy. It's going to be a fun journey, and it will be more fun if you guys vote and we all help our city to change for better. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Heather Starks, and I'm running for re-election to the Bloomington School Board. I would first like to thank the League of Women Voters for the opportunity to share more about myself, and for you, the voter, for taking the time to get to know more about me and my fellow candidates. If you'd like to get to know more about me beyond this 5-minute video, please visit my website at starksforschools.com. So I'm a lifelong resident of Bloomington. I graduated from Kennedy High School back in 1994, my husband in 1992, and my mom is from the first graduating class of Kennedy High School back in 1966. We have 3 children. 2 graduated from Kennedy back in 2021 and 2023, and they are enjoying their lives in college right now. And then I have a freshman that entered Kennedy this fall. And you may sense a theme, but I would like you to know that I do wear Jefferson Jaguar gear, and I cheer on the Jefferson Jaguars when I can. And I think that's one thing that I have really enjoyed about being on the school board for the last 4 years. While I was a student in this system and I was a parent in this system, as a school board member, I'm able to see the whole system and get to know every building. They each have their own community and culture, but making sure that all students are receiving a high-quality education. What's one thing about school board I really enjoy too is we are all at-large members, and therefore it's our responsibility to know the system as a whole and to value students as a whole across the district. I enjoy getting to know how the transportation department works, how we can be good stewards of our financial responsibilities, and I want to continue that work for the next 4 years. So as I mentioned, I'm on the school board now. I've been on for 4 years, and I'm the current chair. And when I ran in 2019, I had 4 priority items, and I'd like to update you on where we are on those items now. So the first one is family and community engagement, and I can't think of a better way to involve the community than through a robust strategic plan process. Through that process, we brought in 90 community members. We had staff, we had students, we had parents, we had community members that did not have students in our district, we had business owners, anyone that had a stake in the success of Bloomington Public Schools. And they created an amazing amount of goals and plans for us to reach over the next 3 to 5 years as a system. The other thing that we did throughout that process was offer up surveys every step of the way. So if you weren't a part of those 90 people, you had a chance to give us feedback as we created that plan. I'm excited for the strategies that we've identified to implement those goals, and I'm excited to see where Bloomington Public Schools goes with that strategic plan. The next one was individualized learning. And we've made a lot of progress in this area. Notably, one came from the pandemic, was online learning. Now, while Bloomington had an online learning process prior to the pandemic, we did not have a full K-12 system. We now have New Code Academy, and that's offered for students where they learned that online learning is their best way to show their success in school, and so we can offer that to them. We also have gifted and talented programming, and one area that we're working on there is how to try to identify students that have been historically underrepresented of gifted and talented programs. We expand our special education programming to meet the needs of our students. And we have multiple career pathways for our students so that they can embark on various post-secondary options. One of those that I'm very proud of is our Grow Your Own program, which is where we can identify students that would make amazing employees in our Bloomington Public School system, help them through their post-secondary career pathways, and bring them back to Bloomington to serve. And this is another way that we can help diversify our workforce, which is one thing that Bloomington is working on, and I know many other school districts in Minnesota are working on as well. Mental health supports was the third one. While we've made progress here, unfortunately, the pace of needs for students in mental health has continued to outpace the availability, but we will continue to work on this. I think one way to do that is to make sure that we respect and value students for who they are. And then the last one is increased and sustained funding. And while we did make some progress with this with the legislature this year, it's not going to be enough. And that's because we've had over 2 decades of underfunding school systems in Minnesota, and that's not going to be undone in just one legislative session. So those were my 4 priorities back in 2019. They continue to be my 4 priorities today. Again, if you want to get to know more about me, please check out my website, starksforschools.com. And I hope I earn your vote on November 7th.
Thank you to the candidates for appearing in these videos. Thank you, audience, for viewing these videos. Voters, remember to vote in the general election on or before November 7th. To learn more about voting and registering to vote, go to the Minnesota Secretary of State's website at mnvotes.org. To read candidates' answers to questions, go to the League of Women Voters-sponsored website at vote411.org.